Hello and welcome back. In this demonstration, we're going to cover several issues with respect to TradeStation and the NextOpen DLL, as well as portfolio design. First, I'd like to talk about the NextOpen DLL. This Trading System Lab NextOpen DLL should be located in the TSL folder right here. And the latest version that we've been working with is this 722.2013 version. What this does is this allows us to compute the theoretically perfect equity curve. It also allows us, for testing purposes only, to buy at the next open price. Now, this is good for testing purposes only, not real-time trading. So if you get a next open DLL error, here's what you should do to fix that. First, make sure that this DLL exists here. We also have the same DLL located in the TSL program folder for backward compatibility, but it should definitely be right here. Next, you'll want to make sure that you've moved the SDK files from TradeStation into the proper folder. Now, when TradeStation migrated from version 9 to 10, they moved the third-party SDK files that DLLs like NextOpen DLL used. So these are used by us third-party developers to create DLLs. Those four files are located in the TradeStation 10 program SDK folder. All you need to do is move those into the program folder. So that's just up one level. You move those into the program folder here, and that should take care of any error message. Oh, you'll also need to do a full reboot of the computer after you've moved those files into that TradeStation program folder. So the next open function in Trading System Lab is shown right here. It's in easy language, and as you can see, it calls the next open DLL that's located in the TSL folder. So all this does is allow us to compute the theoretically perfect equity curve by looking ahead one bar. It also allows us to trade on the next open for testing purposes only. Okay, so that does it for the next open issue. Next, I'd like to talk about portfolios. Some traders are having some problems with portfolio data, so I want to make sure that I cover all of this portfolio data issue. So if you go into the TSL data folder, you'll see that the 6 files that we use for portfolios are right here. These are generated when you pre-process the data. So we have the 5 pre-processed data files, and then we have the data info file. If we double click on that, it pulls up a notepad or a editor, whatever you have configured for text files, and it shows, in this case, 4 symbols and some basic information. These 4 symbols should match the 4 symbols on your chart after you've done the pre-processing of the data using the portfolio preprocessor. If it doesn't, there's something wrong. So what you need to check, first you should check to make sure that you're running TradeStation in compatibility mode. And this goes for running TradeStation for doing your normal work, including single market work with Trading System Lab, etc. What we found is that, and by the way, this is under File, Preferences, Desktop, and go to Performance, the Performance tab right here. Click on this compatibility button right here. The TradeStation runs much more stably if it's run in compatibility mode. The auto configuring of TradeStation, as we understand it, invokes some speed up hyperthreading to make optimizations faster. So if you're doing some basic optimizations in TradeStation, you can certainly switch that back and you'll see a speed up. But for stability and doing the development work like what you're doing with Trading System Lab, we recommend that you go to compatibility mode. Clients have been reporting back to us that once they have gone to compatibility mode, many of the crashes that they've had with TradeStation have not occurred. They've had much stabler work. So run in compatibility mode, and you have to do this for doing portfolio work. Next, load your chart up with the symbols that you want to run in your portfolio. Here I have 4 symbols. Now we're going to run the Trading System Lab portfolio preprocessor. So we're going to go to add strategy if you don't already have it on the chart. I've already put it on the chart, so I'm going to go and edit strategies. Here's the portfolio preprocessor. I'm going to status it on, and I'm going to optimize DN, which is the data number, from 1 to 4. So I'll do that, I'll start the run, and there we are. So now the portfolio data is being pre-processed in TradeStation in a TradeStation compatible format. And we're going to watch the data files being produced here in just a second as the portfolio preprocessor run continues here. So here we can see that the 5 data files are being produced here as we're going through that optimization. And as the run continues, we'll see that these files will increase in size. So by the way, these files correspond to the selections that you see in the Trading System Lab preprocessor pull-down menu. So you can see their increase in size here. We're almost done. We're about halfway done here. And you can see that I've produced the 5 files and that data info file. Now we're going to take a look at these files when we're done with this pre-processing run, just to make sure that they're fine. So we're almost done with this preprocessor. As soon as we're done, I'm going to status off that preprocessor because we don't want the preprocessor to continue to run on the chart. Remember that you're producing a lot of data files that are being used in the machine learning algorithm, and it's important to get this right. We have to have good data in order to design good systems. So I'm going to now status off the preprocessor, and let's take a look at that data. We'll start with that data info PS1 file. Here it is. And yes, all that looks very nice. We've got 4 symbols on the chart, so that looks good. Let's take a look at one of the actual data files here. Here it is. This is the Boolean data file. So all we're going to see here are zeros and ones in 56 columns, and in the far right-hand columns, we will see date, time, open, high, low, close, and the data number. There's data number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got all of our data here, a total of 21,284 lines of data. That looks good. We'll close that out. Make sure that you close out your editor so that Windows or some other program that you're using doesn't lock these data files such that Trading System Lab cannot read them. Okay, it looks like we've pre-processed our data correctly. Now remember, if you haven't used version switch to switch to the pairs, portfolios, and options version, now's the time to do that. I've already switched to the portfolio version, so I don't need to do it again. We'll go ahead and bring up Trading System Lab and fast open our project. And here is the portfolio version. Let's go right to the simulation setup and look that our 4 files are listed here. This listing is drawn from that data info file. So if the data info file is wrong, this is going to be wrong as well. We need to make sure that the data is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and quick load some settings that I've been playing with. Fitness function number 12. I'm going to enter on a limit. I'm going to go long only. because these are stocks and it's easier to go long. I'm forcing some trading. I'm going to be using constant dollars with a $300,000 account size per symbol. I'm going to lower that down to $10,000. And we'll go ahead and apply the settings and begin the run. Okay, so we can check our performance reports immediately and see that we have 4 symbols going on here. We're designing on those 4 symbols, and here are the 4 symbols on the trade by trade report. All that looks good. The system is proceeding nicely. Here's our logs, and we've already talked about our performance reports. By the way, while I'm on the data file here, the reports that you see in Trading System Lab are also available as text files right here. Here, for example, is the out of sample trade by trade data. This file here is the all data trade by trade data. We also have some summary reports here. This is the out of sample summary report. That's the most recent that's generated. So all of these reports here, including the min-error programs and Evo run reports, are all in text files. You can load these into another editor or Excel and manipulate them if you'd like in Excel or another editor. So all that is made so that you do have some flexibility in how you consume the data. Now, as this process is continuing, we, of course, will need the same n generations without improvement. In this case, n is set to 3. So in the monitor project window under current run, we'll need to see 3 generations without improvement before the system buffer pushes out the first set of systems and we show that 1 run is complete. So if we want to watch this counter, we can watch that counter under current run. And we can see we just did go through 3 generations without improvement. We completed 1 run and systems are ready. Now, of course, we recommend letting it run longer than that if you'd like. But we are on the second run. So when if we're comfortable and satisfied with the run and we want to translate it, we do the same thing as we've done with the other versions. We stop the run, we bring up the code, we remove the introns, we then go save the code, and you will use to translate the code into. You'll need to use the Trading System Lab portfolio shells, which are located right here. So if you're using trade type number 5, for example, you'll use this shell here, port 132 shell with these trade types. If you're using trade type number 12, you'll use this shell right here. If you're using trade type number 8, you'll want to use this shell. So these numbers here, just like in the single market, correspond to the trade type. So you'll paste your code in the same spot where you've been pasting in the single markets, right here. And then go ahead and run that system on the individual charts for each one of those each one of the symbols that are in your portfolio. TradeStation can't trade a portfolio, so you can't run one system on a multi-data chart and expect it to trade each symbol. You have to run that same system on each individual chart. So that does it for the portfolio version. We hope this helps. Let us know if you have any other issues or bugs to report on the portfolio version. And thanks for watching.